Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you parents and family members, and let me just echo what Mr. Bennett said earlier. This could not happen without all of your support and the next 4, 8, 10 years of support that you're going to give these kids that sit right here in front of me. Thank you teachers and administrators. Thank you all for being here tonight. 8th graders, y'all. It took me all year to figure out what I was going to say to you tonight. And my problem is, you all need to hear such different things. If I was speaking just to the Wolliver homeroom, I would praise you for the depth and intellect you brought to your courageous conversations. Right? Yeah. If I was speaking to the Gerdts homeroom, you guys know there's cake downstairs, right? If I was speaking in the Gerdts homeroom, it would have to be a short film called Dat Beard. If I was speaking to the Bassant homeroom, I would secretly confess that as much as I like my homeroom, I would have traded them for you in a heartbeat. No, just kidding, I love you all. And if I was speaking to the Helmer homeroom, I would say, have a really, really good summer. I kid, because I love you. I have so much love for all these 8th graders, all you 8th graders in the seats in front of me, so I will speak my truth. I am not here to tell you, don't be afraid. In fact, there are countless things in life that you should be afraid of. Things so scary, so fear-inducing, so real, that you really should be afraid. Like Vine. You should be afraid of Vine. There is no way a 6-second video of a girl getting hit in the head with a shovel can be good for you. No matter how much it makes you laugh, you should be afraid. You should be afraid of any movie that starts with the word dat. You should be afraid. You should be afraid of what the 8th grade will smell like after 3 extra days in June. And you should be afraid of Britta Nelson. Especially if you happen to be her cat. Or her sister. You should be afraid. You should be afraid of your couches disappearing out of thin air. Believe me, it happens. You should be afraid. You should be afraid of due dates. You should be afraid of due dates and deadlines and scholarship applications, but only enough to make sure you handle your business. You should be afraid of standardized tests. You should be afraid of math. In the words of more than one wise 8th grader, just because you call it a math carnival doesn't mean it's fun. Just kidding though. I mean this fully. Math is beautiful and amazing and the only real truth in this world, so don't be scared at all. But then again, you won't always have Ms. Wolliver to get you through it, so maybe you should be afraid. Next year, I'm not going to be teaching in the 8th grade. I'll still be working here, fair, though not as much. I'll be coordinating the school's QComp program and working with our administrators, teachers, and staff as we renew our efforts to reach and expand on this school's vast potential. But mostly, I'll be spending more time with my son and daughter. And I am afraid. I'm not afraid of my kids. I'm just afraid of playing Candyland over and over and over again, and most likely losing. But really, I'm afraid because it's new. According to scientists, when things are new, you don't know how to predict what might happen. And when that unpredictable new thing happens, your senses aren't prepared to respond, and the messages move slower. And so your brain responds to all this uncertainty by turning up the fear. I have no idea if any of that's true, but it sounds right. So maybe you should be afraid. Except for those of you making your triumphant return to Fair Downtown after just 1 short year here at Crystal, your schools will be new. With new challenges, new opportunities, new teachers and coaches. You'll join new teams, new clubs, new bands, choirs, and orchestras, all filled with new people trying to figure out where they're headed. New boys, new girls, new pressures, new social media applications, new temptations, new things to distract you from your work, and new Jordans to wait in line for. But luckily, for you, even with all that new stuff in your increasingly complicated lives, ain't nobody got time to be afraid. Or at least, you don't have time to be afraid for long. And there are some things that you simply do not have time for. You don't have time to be afraid of comparisons and judgment. Whether it comes from people trying to bring you down, or those trying to build you up, or that not-so-tiny voice in your own head, every comparison should make you want to do better. And every judgment should fuel your drive and ambition. You don't have time to be afraid of discovering what it is you can be great at. And you certainly don't have time to be afraid of the work it will take to reach that greatness. You don't have time to be afraid of challenging your future schools and your future teachers to give you the education that you all deserve. You don't have time to be afraid of your own insecurities and post a mean comment online, and you know you don't have time to feed those same insecurities as you wait for comments back. Not every day needs to include a new selfie. You don't have time to be afraid to ask if the life you're working towards is really the one you want. The world around you would love it if you're afraid. So afraid that you'll relax too much and let your guard down. This world gives you every opportunity to wait for things to come to you because you're too afraid to really make a run at something. The world can make you very comfortable sitting back watching, buying, consuming, but you don't have time for fear because your lives will require fearlessness. Don't be afraid to go out and make this world better, to make something all your own. Thank you.